Hello students. In Unit 6 we need to discuss about LT switchgear system. So before discussing about the LT switchgear system, we'll be discussing about power system, and before that we'll just have a common discussion what a network is. Okay, we are very well aware of circuits. We have solved DC circuits, we have solved AC circuits. So circuits consist of some elements such as resistance, inductor, capacitor. Okay, also that circuits can consider machines like transformer, DC motors, okay, things like that. So if you see in your house or in your college, okay, in house you have tube lights, bulbs, fans, okay, you're having washing machines, you're having mixer grinders. So these are various electrical kind of loads, okay, constructed from this basic elements. So these loads are connected in some form, in some series parallel combination, and this whole thing forms a circuit. So if you consider that every each household is a circuit, then you can get a complete network as such, each household having different electrical circuits. So coming to the power system is a system in which we will be dealing about the electrical power. It is a network which consists of electrical components so that this power can be generated, then it can be distributed and transmitted throughout. So this generation, distribution, transmission network we have already seen in one of our video lectures, so you can recall it. What happens is, in the power plant, suppose say thermal power plant, if you say NTPC Anta, there will be generation of power, and that voltage generated is of the form suppose 3.3 kV or 6.6 kV or 11 kV. Okay, then it is moved up to the step of transformer, because if we need to do this transmission at a very high voltage. Okay, if we are doing transmission at this low voltages, there will be a lot of losses. So we are stepping up this voltages and we are transmitting. So we can step up it to 66 kV or 132 kV or 220 kV or 440 kV or 765 kV. This is what voltage rating kVs use in India. So the transmission will be there. After that transmission, again we need to step down for use, because we cannot use this high voltages. So we will be stepping it down again to 11 kV or 6.6 kV or 3.3 kV. Then for some industrial customers we may require at 11 kV or 6.6 kV or 3.3 kV. Then we further step down this to 440 volt. So 440 volt will be a three-phase supply, and if we take single phase supply from it, which comes to our houses, our colleges, our places, then it will be 230 volt. So you can say around about 220 to 240 volt AC, single phase AC with 50 hertz in India. So this is the distribution part which occurs. So this is the whole power system in a single line. Now this power system needs to be protected. So we are using this switch gear. Now as the name suggests, switch and gear. So with help of switches we are going to control and regulate. Okay. So the various equipments which are used for controlling, regulating and switching on or off the electrical circuits. Okay. This is called as power switch gear in electrical power system. So it will consist of various kind of switches. It will consist of fuse wire. You might have studied, it is a wire which breakdowns when very high, when more than the rated current flows through it. So there will be circuit breakers. Circuit breakers are devices which breaks the circuit on load. An isolator is a device which breaks the circuit off load. When there is no loading, then in order to minimize the leakage current, it is used. Then there are relays in order to uh, tell us that there is some fault in the system. Then there are current transformer. Current transformer is known as CT. It is used for measurement of current. Okay, then we have potential transformer known as PT, which is used for measurement of voltage. So what current transformer and potential transformer are measuring transformer. Okay, measuring instrument transformer. This two transformer, they are step down transformer. They lower the voltage, they lower the current, so that the current can be observed in milliamperes and the voltage could be observed in millivolts, and we can measure the current, and then we can transform that. If this side of the transformer is having this current, then the actual side will be having having some current as such. So like that, this kind of devices are used. So in our syllabus we are having LT switchgear. LT switchgear is also known as LV switchgear. LT means low tension and LV means low voltage. So these two are same things. So the electrical switchgears which are rated up to 1 kV is known as LT switchgear, means whose voltage rating is 1 kilovolt is known as LT switchgear. As we have seen in this power system, we have different voltages rating. So at the point of time when we need a lower voltage, okay, when we are dealing with 1 kilovolt only, at that time the switchgear used is LT switchgear. So this may include various kind of circuit breakers, switches, fuses, okay, earth leakage circuit breaker, miniature circuit breaker, you might have heard about MCB, okay, then molded case circuit breaker, etc., to protect this low tension or low voltage system. Now what are this ELCB, MCB, MCCB? I have already provided you with the notes, so you can just read it out. Also you can refer to Google for their diagrams and all, so you will get a brief idea that these are basically switches or safety devices which are used, and everyone is having uh, different purpose of using. Okay, so you can just read this and you will get to know about each thing that what it is used for. Suppose like switched fuse unit, it is having a switch also and one fuse unit also, so it will sometimes control, and it can also fuse the unit to the output if the current is more. Okay, so you can read about this. So now coming to the parts of the LT switchgear, there will be the following parts. The first part is the incomer. So incomer will feed the incoming electrical power to the incomer bus. Means it will be feeding the electrical power to the bus. Okay, bus is a conductor in power system which will be having uniform voltage. So the switch gear used in this incomer will be having the main switching devices. Then after it, the second one is the sub incomer. Okay, from incomer will be having sub incomer out, and it will feed the power to the feeder bus. Now feeder bus is a bus which bus means a conductor having throughout having a common voltage. Okay, feeder means this is connected to loads. Okay, we'll be feeding some different loads. Feeding means we are providing it with something. Okay, we are giving it something. So feeders will be connected to loads, and this loads can be any loads. It can be motor loads. Okay, because electrical power needs to be converted into mechanical. From feeder we are going to get electrical, so it can be mechanical loads, it can be lighting loads. Lighting loads means this household loads what we use, tube light, fans and all. Then it can be air conditioner loads, etc. Any kind of household loads it can be. So all feeders are again protected by some switch and fuse unit. So these three things, incomers, sub incomer and feeders, these are protected by different kinds of switches. Okay, so one kind of circuit breaker is a breaker which will break the circuit on load. Okay, an isolator is a isolator will break the circuit when the circuit is off load. So there are different kind of circuit breakers. There is air circuit breaker, there is SF6 circuit breaker. Okay, there are various type of circuit breakers. So basically in low tension switch gear we'll be using air circuit breakers. So this will be used as an incomer switch. It will be used for switching on of the circuit. As we see a normal switch, as you see in your homes, a normal switch is just on and off, but it can produce sparking, and that voltage is just 230 to 20 volts, but this voltage is what we are dealing with is of 1 kilovolt. So this circuit breakers, if you see the diagrams of circuit breakers, these are huge in shape. It won't look like a normal switch, it is a huge shape circuit breaker. Okay, so this air circuit breaker along with the switch fuse unit along with the MCCB can be used as sub-incomer in the LT switchgear. So you can read more about this LT switchgear from this website called electricalforyou.com. If you type low voltage switchgear, you will be getting. So here is the diagram also. The main incomer from transformer. Okay, before this some transformer is connected, which is transforming the voltage into 1 kilovolt. So this 1 kilovolt is coming through this. This is like red, yellow, blue RYB three-phase line. So this is the incomer bus for red, incomer bus for yellow, incomer bus for blue. So this buses will be having some equal potential voltages. Now this is the sub incomer, means we are dividing this main into some two parts, and then we are coupling it together. Okay, then we are coupling this buses from sub incomer. Again we are getting some buses, and then we are coupling this is used for redundancy, if means this is used for so that we have redundant supply. Okay, so this are several these are some switches. Okay, these are several circuit breakers or isolators, you can say. So like the switches are converted. Now these are the feeders. So some feeders are connected to the motor load, some feeders are connected to the heater load, some are connected to the lighting load, some are connected to air conditioners. Okay, like this, according with the use we can do. So if you want to read in detail about this LV switchgear system, you can read through this. You will get a good knowledge about it. Now coming to what is energy. Okay, so electrical energy is some work done by the electrical charge. If I say that there is I ampere current which is flowing through a conductor having some potential difference of V volt across it, and it takes T time seconds, then the electrical energy can be given as VI into T joules, or electrical energy is simply power into time. So electrical energy can be written into this three forms, because power can be written as P equals to VI equals to I square R into V square by R. So electrical energy can be also written in this form. And joules is watt per second, because what we are doing, we are multiplying this watt into second. But commercially the unit of electrical energy will be watt hour. Okay, so it can be watt hour or kilowatt hour. What we get our energy meter reading in our households or in our colleges is in kilowatt hour. That one unit, we say one unit of electricity, that is kilowatt hour. Okay, so it can be in watt hour or kilowatt hour or megawatt hour. Now what is 1 watt hour? If 1 watt of power is consumed in 1 hour time, then its energy will be equals to 1 watt hour. Now what is watt hours per day? So whatever is that device wattage, we will need to multiply it hours used per day. So suppose there is a TV which consumes 125 watt. Okay, TV is of rating of 125 watt, and it has been used for 5 hours a day. So 125 into 5, then we'll be getting 625 watt hour per day. Now this watt hour per day, if you want to convert into kilowatt hour per day, means if we want to add prefix of kilo over here, then surely we need to divide it by 1000. So 625 divided by 1000 will be giving us a 0.625 kilowatt hour per day our TV is consuming. So over a month, how much the TV will consume over a month is, suppose we take a month of 30 days, then generally for calculation, if we are supposed to take a month, then we'll be taking at 30 days, not 31 or 28, things like that. We'll be taking 30 days. So if you multiply this kilowatt hour per day into 30 days, then you're getting 18.75 kilowatt hour, or in layman's language we can say it is 18.75 units which you're getting. Okay, so energy meter, one unit is 1 kilowatt hour. So if a TV in a month is consuming 18.75 units, you can calculate how much electricity bill you're going to get according to the tariff. So this is how this energy meter is a device which measures the energy, and it's measure the energy in the form of kilowatt hour, which is known as 1 unit. So suppose there is a numerical. This is a previous previous year numerical. So suppose there is a home in which there is a TV of rating 100 watt and it is used 3 hours on daily basis, and there is a immersion rod, that water heater which we use, okay, and it is of 2000 watt and it is used for 10 minutes daily, and there are fans and lights and other things which accounts to 1000 watt for 12 hours daily. So we need to calculate what is the monthly energy consumption. So in a tabular form we will see what is given to us. TV, its wattage rating is 100 and it is used 3 hours daily. Immersion rod, its wattage is 2000 watt but it is used 10 minutes. So if you convert 10 minutes into hours, that is 10 upon 60, you will be getting 0.167 hours. Then the fan and lights accounts for 1000 watt and we will be using 12 hours per day. So total watt hour per day consumption is this multiplied by this plus this multiplied by this plus this multiplied by this. So you can get the total watt hour per day what we are consuming. So total kilowatt hour per day will be this divided by 1000. So total kilowatt hour per day is what, 12.634, and for 30 days we are multiplying it with 30, so we are getting some 379.02 kilowatt hours. If we round it off, we can get 379 kilowatt hours or 379 units. So 379 units you have consumed in a month, so you can calculate how much electricity bill you need to pay. Now coming to electrical earthing. What is electrical earthing? This is also a very important topic in the 6th unit. So the electrical earthing is the process of transferring immediate discharge or leakage of the electrical energy or the electrical current directly to the earth, and this discharge is continued through a low resistance path, and this is known as electrical earthing. So if there is a leakage current or if there is a discharge of electrical energy, we need to directly transmit it to the earth or ground through a very low resistance path, because if you provide that low resistance path, the current will flow easily. So this what happens, sometimes the non-current carrying part of the equipment will be getting to connected to the ground. What happens that suppose you are using a press iron to iron your clothes, okay, there is some plastic part of it and some metallic part of it. That metallic part of it is supposed to get hot and then you're going to iron your clothes, but that plastic part of it should not get any current. So that part of the equipment, that non-conducting or non-current part of the equipment will be connected to ground. So because if in case if in case there is a current through it, then that current will be very high, and what will happen, you can get a shock. So earthing will provide a easy and a low resistance path to the leakage current. So the most important material used for it is a galvanized iron. Also, in order to reduce the resistance of this connection, the area of cross section, as we know, resistance is equals to rho L upon A. So in order to reduce the resistance, area of cross section of this wire, galvanized iron wire, is increased. So if you see some earthing wire, you will see it is a thick wire, because if you increase the area, the resistance will get lower. So there are different types of earthing. One is called neutral earthing or system earthing, and the other one is called equipment earthing. So neutral earthing or system earthing is done in the power system in order to earth the generator. Okay, generator are huge machines. In order to earth the transformer, in order to earth the motors, we use system earthing. And in households, what we do equipment earthing. Suppose we are earthing the electrical iron, we are earthing the switch gear box in the household. So this is what equipment earthing. Now neutral earthing or system earthing, the neutral of the system. Okay, we have seen this power system, the things are connected in star or delta. Okay, mainly if they are connected in star, they will be having a neutral. So that neutral point of the system is directly connected to the earth by a galvanized iron wire. So this is done for a star winding system. So this is how neutral earthing or system earthing is done for generators, for transformers connected in star winding. Now there are various types of neutral earthing. This is TN system, TT system. Okay, so you can read about basics of this. Here uh, T means terre, which means earth, N means neutral, S means separate, and C means combined. So you can just read some very basic points of the system, not in detail, because in first year you don't need the details about this. These are various types of neutral earthing. Then coming to equipment earthing. So the non-current carrying part of the equipment will be connected to the earth by some conducting wire, because if any fault occurs in the equipment, the short circuit current should pass through the earth wire, not to the person. So suppose this is your iron or press, okay, you're using it, and this is not earthed. Okay, this is not this is an unearthed system. We haven't provide earthing, so we are getting a single phase supply. So this is the live wire, phase wire, or the line wire, and this is the neutral wire, and this is not earthed. Okay, so what will happen is there will be leakage current, and you're touching that part, you're touching that iron part, you're touching that iron from that non-conducting part, but there is some heavy leakage current. So what will happen, that current will pass through your body, and this, see how the hairs will become, you will be getting shock. Okay, so that current will pass through your body and then go through this ground, because the current needs to complete a closed path, so it will be getting a low resistance path through your body itself. So this is how you can receive shock. But if the system is earthed, how the system is earthed, this non-conducting path is been grounded as such, so this will provide low resistance, more low resistance than this path. Okay, in electrical circuits, current will flow through that circuit only, which will provide it more low resistance. So suppose you and this path is connected in parallel, but the most of the current will flow through this only, because this is providing low resistance, and you will be having some resistance, humans have some resistance. Okay, so if this system is earthed, then in case of any fault, the current will flow through this and complete its path through here. So this is how system earthing is done, and you are in safe hands, you won't get shock. So types of equipment earthing, if you see, then there is plate type earthing. You can see the diagrams of plate type earthing. You can see the diagram of pipe type earthing. Then there are rod type earthing and strip type earthing. So what is the importance of earthing? We need some human safety, person safety, because in order to prevent shock, you know the disadvantages of getting a shock. Also the equipment will be safe, and if insulation fails, okay, every device is having some insulation, some protective measures, but if that things fails, then earthing will be providing the easiest path for fault current to flow. So remember, in any electrical circuits, protection is very important. So we'll be for any device which is using electricity, there will be at least 2-3 protection schemes. Okay, we'll be having some fuse, we'll be having some switches, we'll be having insulation in order to protect. So thank you for listening, students.